So Blizzard finally released Diablo 3 a few months ago. Why has it taken me this long to get around to reviewing it? I didn't know what to say. This was the start of the nucleus of the beginning of the idea that has become Trilogy of Disappointment Week. And honestly, after playing through this game, I really didn't know what to say. So I'm going to start from the beginning, with story time. I remember the first time I ever got introduced to Diablo. I was at a friend's house, staying over for a week, just chilling out. He's about to go to work. So I noticed that there was a game, Diablo, that he was playing. And I was like, can I play that? And he's like, sure, why not, you know? Take a seat, make a new character up, just don't save over my stuff. Totally fine. So I'm playing. First time in my gaming history where I lost track of time. And I really do mean I lost track of time. About 10 hours later, he comes home. I haven't moved from his computer. I'm still playing this game. He's just like, have you moved? I'm like, no. And then I heard about the second game coming out and the specs that were going to be required to play the second game. I'm not much of a computer fan. Up until very recently, and I do mean January of 2012, I really didn't have a decent computer. This prefaces the fact that I had to buy an entirely new computer to play Diablo 2. And I was totally satisfied with that, I might add. I mean, I bought it for Diablo 2 and to run Neverwinter Nights, but mainly Diablo 2. And let me tell you, it was a massive improvement over the first game. Many characters, bigger story, bigger events, bigger world, more creatures to kill, more loot to get, more levels to grind. And my god, after beating that game, I became a, if I wasn't already, I was a die-hard Loot Fest Diablo clone fan. That is basically when the wait for Diablo 3 started. The game that has come closest on the console, in my honest opinion, has been the Champions of Norath series, to which Sony, really, make another one, for the love of God. So anyway, that's story time involving me and the Diablo series.
You start out as 5 warriors. We have the barbarians. Basically, they're the big hitting tank class. They can also dual wield. Plus, I like to commend Blizzard for their female model of the barbarian, because they actually look like a barbarian. The Witch Doctor has the ability to summon monsters, cast curses, harvest souls. They're basically a mix of a necromancer from Diablo 2 and a red mage from Final Fantasy. The Monk, they're the melee attackers. They use special skills to lessen damage done to him and increase damage done to others. He's basically like an assassin mixed with a paladin who has a lot of debuffs. And then we have the Demon Hunter. They are a mix between an Amazon and the Assassins. They have the long-range class, and they also use bows and arrows, mainly crossbows. Finally, we have the Wizards. They are the same as they were in Diablo 2. They cast spells, and they use mana, and basically they light the entire screen up with their abilities.
It's like every other hack-slash game out there. Kill, loot, level up, repeat. Kill, loot, level up, repeat. Speaking of the loot, this guy dropped something pretty cool that I'm going to use. Oh yeah, I can do some damage with this bad boy.
We have done it.
So basically, that's the simple gist of the game. Now we get into the deeper knowledge of this game.
It is a mouse and keyboard game, with more emphasis on the mouse. The left click is your main attack. The right click is your slightly more powerful alternate attack. Numbers 1 through 4 coordinate to your special attacks, T is your town portal spell, and Q is the potion hotkey.
The shift key makes you stay in place while you attack. The alt key highlights everything that's on the ground. The first thing I noticed when I started playing this game is the controls have been consoleized heavily. It's screaming a PS3 360 port, and a very easy one, I might add. Now, I don't play PC games a lot, but when I do, I actually like the plethora of options the keyboard and the mouse give me. Plus, the modding community out there can make some pretty cool mods and additions to the game. Now, I liked Sacred 2 because of the complexity of the controls. I thought it nailed the Diablo 2 control scheme on a home console pad perfectly. Well, perfectly shouldn't be a good word, as best as a console can do. And honestly, the 12 hotkeys, that was pretty amazing how Sacred 2 did that. Did I say deeper? I meant deeper. Blizzard, you're not going to scare the console market by making a Diablo game hard to control. Us fans kind of know what we're getting into when you buy a Diablo game. Having a recharge for the potion item is a really dumb idea. And I don't care if everything you kill drops instant pickup health potions that heal you automatically. It's the fact that this recharge has killed me a lot of times, especially during some boss fights.
This fight with the Lord of Lies, for instance. Yeah, me dying right before killing him happened a lot.
And for a game that's priding itself on the fact that it's easier to play, it's more accessible for the masses, why was this even added in? And also the graphics. I want to say the graphics are outstandingly phenomenal if you can run them. Now, I will freely admit, the only reason why I even got this game was because Blizzard did the free open beta weekend. I downloaded the game and realized I could run it on minimum settings. I know minimum settings. I'm a noob when it comes to PC games for the most part. But something funny happened after I bought the game and played for it. About 2 or 3 weeks in, there was a big patch update. And the patch update lowered the minimum requirements. So halfway through the game, I went from running it on the lowest settings to being able to run it on the highest settings. And let me tell you something, that was awesome.
This is what it looked like before the update. Not too bad, very minimalistic.
Rumford said you survived the fallen star.
This is what it looked like after the update. Oh my god, I can have so many things running on the screen at the same time. The slowdown is because of fraps.
Having to always be online, especially for me who plays single player, is an awesome experience. Thank you, Blizzard! But seriously, I'm going to show you the two sides in the war that goes on in my head about certain issues pertaining to this game. So we're going to play a game called Right Brain, Left Brain. Now I can understand why, with the rampant cheating that could go on, plus with the real money auction house, could be a real big problem. Also, there's been a lot of updates since the game came out that have fixed major issues. What the hell, Blizzard? What do you mean I gotta be online to play this game, even if I want to solo it? Oh great, so when the servers go down, I'm fucked is what you're saying. Thanks, Tuesday update.
So yeah, this happened in the middle of a mini-boss fight, and the server crashed. I couldn't play the game for a few hours afterward.
And now a public service announcement from Dahmer's Cool Stuff. Do you like the sword? Chicks dig a big sword.
Now I'm not saying it's a pay-to-win, but it's really close to being it. I had an item sell in the auction house for 50,000 gold.
I cannot tell you how much of a cakewalk the rest of that playthrough, the first one I might add, went. I am not lying when I said if I ran across a problem that I couldn't get past and I kept dying, I literally backed out of the game, went into the auction house, respect my character, so to speak, by buying new items, and then continued with the game with the new gear that I just bought.
So the story starts over 20 years after the events of Diablo 2. Deckard Cain is still alive, and he's gone missing when this meteor destroys the church in New Tristram. This basically sets the catalyst for the rest of the game. Now the story is pretty decent at best. It's not too complicated, pretty predictable in a lot of parts, but it gets you moving from plot point to plot point. I do feel sorry for one particular character, and if you played the game, you know who I'm talking about. I honestly did feel very bad for this particular person, and they did get a raw end of the deal.
And the leveling system. I'm not going to deny how weird and screwed up the leveling system is in this game. And I have to explain it like this. In the first 2 Diablo games, when you leveled up, you got 5 points to allocate towards strength, agility, magic, and health. You could kind of customize your character. and the armor just added to it.
As you can see, in this game, points are automatically allocated depending on the class that you play.
So, basically, I lost the ability, say in Diablo 2, if I wanted to have a necromancer who focused a little bit on melee, not much, but just a little, because I can't cast spells and I can't have this big roaming troop zombie army all the time. I need to hit sometimes. I lost the ability to do that. So once again, we look inside my head to see the war that's going on between the left and the right brain to see what they think about this issue. Look, Diablo's played online by a lot of people. A lot of people do play this game online, and they party up online as well. So they're only looking for people who are spec'd out correctly. I mean, do you want somebody in your party who's a warrior but took all of his points in the magic? What the hell, Blizzard? Thanks for taking my options away. At first I thought I decided to play this game on easy mode. Enemy types. I will say this, the game has a lot of enemy types. And they brought out, like common monsters, and they brought out something called uncommon monsters, and then nightmare uncommons, I think they're called. Either way, you notice there's different levels of the same monster.
And now we have the treasure and gold nodes. Basically, these creatures drop treasure and gold and make you follow them, and they'll stop and you have to attack them. Basically, they're asking you to play a risk-reward game because they're going to lead you into a bunch of enemies.
But if you kill it, it's like raining down loot and gold and items and purples and yellows and greens. Oh my. Makes you think, is it worth it? This game doesn't get good until the second playthrough. That's when the enemies start working as a team. They use teamwork tactics against you. Also, there's this little bad thing called traps. Traps are fun little things. Basically, you see gold on the ground, you pick it up, it's a trap. You see a treasure box on the ground, you pick it up, it's a trap. You see a dead body on the ground that you want to loot, it's a trap. And basically, you have a lot of guys coming up you on the ground, wrecking your shit. Blizzard, for getting me to really rethink my OCD complex on having to click and pick up everything, thank you. So what I'm trying to say is, this game is not as addictive as the first two Diablo games. And I'm still trying to figure out why. Is it because I'm older? Is it because the genre has lost its addictiveness? Is it because this game isn't as good as it should have been? It's probably a combination of all three. And for that, I feel sorry. I feel like I'm letting down my cool older brother who introduced me to all these cool things, and now he's into something new, and I'm like, I'm sorry, I'm not into it, I can't do it. I've played the game online a little bit. I've also played through 2 playthroughs, and I was working on my 3rd playthrough when all of a sudden I just stopped playing. Really, no, serious, stopped playing. Like, haven't turned the game on in a month or 2. I guess what I'm trying to say is, this is Dahmer's Cool Stuff. Thank you for following me for Trilogy of Disappointment Week, and as always, do good gaming. And keep your rubber tip on the sword because you have cats and you don't want them accidentally getting hit. That you really aren't confident in your ability to hold a sword with a slightly pointed edge. Either way, it's been a fun week. Traps are basically really bad things